Today I'll be disputing the facts, the story you all know about the killing of twins in Calabar and how Mary Sleesor abolished the killing of twins. I've always been fascinated by how stories and beliefs can completely change with time. So I wanted to share something interesting about this topic. I'm a historian, of course, what do you expect? That's my major in school. How everything we know today wasn't the way it used to be, or how it was portrayed. So let's take it back to the beginning. Before the Europeans ever set foot in Calabar, twins were actually seen as a blessing, not a curse. In fact, the people of Calabar believed that twins were special children, deeply connected to a spiritual power. They believed in a deity called Mbobo, I don't know if I got the pronunciation right, also called Ekabasi, a divine being that represented balance, almost like yin and yang. This god had two faces, symbolizing duality, like light and darkness, good and bad, male and female, all existing in perfect harmony. So when a woman gave birth to twins, it wasn't something to fear, it was something to celebrate, actually. These were believed to be spiritual children, messengers or gifts from the god of balance. Traditionally, the family would carry the twins to the shrine of Mboko or Ekabasi to present them to the deity. Not as a sacrifice, but as a form of dedication, like saying, "Thank you, great one, no, for what you've done, no. Thank you, great one, for this blessing to us." It was more of a sacred ritual than anything dark or cruel. But then came our colonial masters, the Europeans. When they arrived, they didn't understand this tradition. They didn't understand the meaning behind them. They saw these shrines, these idols, these rituals, and immediately called them evil, pagan, idol worship. They declared that Ekabasi, this god of balance, they declared it demon, and that all practices connected to it should be abolished. And that's where everything changed. Because twins were seen as a reflection or a symbol of that same deity, like two souls being one. People started to think that twins were linked to evil spirits. The same children that were once celebrated as blessings became feared and rejected. From that point, the narrative shifted so deeply that the birth of twins became seen as a curse. In most cases, they were abandoned and killed, all because of the fear of what the Europeans had planted. So imagine something that was once sacred and powerful turned into something shameful and forbidden, all because of a change in perspective and the misunderstanding of the culture. That's a story that many people don't talk about. How twins in Calabar went from being symbols of the divine to being called symbols of evil. It's crazy how much colonization changed not just our history, but the way we saw ourselves. This is where Mary Sleesor comes into the picture. Mary Sleesor was a Scottish missionary who came to Calabar in the late 80s. When she arrived, she noticed that people had this deep fear of twins. That once a woman gave birth to twins, it was seen as a curse, and babies were often abandoned or even killed because people believed that they carried evil spirits. Now, Mary was shocked by this. She had heard about it before coming, but seeing it firsthand was completely different. She realized that this belief didn't originally come from the people's hearts. It was something that had been twisted over time. After colonization and the rejection of their traditional religion, she didn't just sit back. She decided to do something about it. Mary started rescuing these twins, literally going into villages, picking up the babies that were left in the bush and caring for them. She took them in, raised them, and taught people that twins weren't evil, that they were just like any other children. At first, a lot of people didn't listen to her. They thought she was crazy for protecting what they believed were evil children. But over time, her compassion and persistence began to change the minds of people. Slowly, people started to see that the birth of twins wasn't a curse after all. That's actually how she became known as the white woman who stopped the killing of twins. But here's what's even more interesting. Mary Sleesor didn't just save babies, she also became a bridge between cultures. She learned the local language, understood the people's custom, and tried to mix her Christian beliefs with respect for African traditions. She became a sort of mediator, one of the few Europeans who actually tried to understand the culture instead of just condemning it. And that's why till today, if you go to Calabar, there's still a deep respect for her name. In fact, there's even a statue and a street named after her. Because she didn't just preach, she acted. So when you hear the story of twins in Calabar, it's not just about superstition or fear. It's about how colonial misunderstanding changed the beautiful belief and how one woman's bravery helped to write that story. I'm gonna bye. Thanks for listening.